Again, a little louder. One more time.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I welcome all of you to His Holiness Candramauli Swami daily class. And today Maharaj will continue on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 10 and verse 11 onwards. Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
All glories to Prabhupada, my obeisances.
So with your permission, Maharaj, I will share the screen.
Please.
Over to you, Maharaj.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Tasvavasit swasristasum sahasram parivatsaram tena narayano nama yad apapurusho bhavaha. The Supreme Person is not impersonal and therefore is distinctly a Nara or person. Therefore, the transcendental water created from the Supreme Nara is known as Nara. And because he lies down on that water, he is known as Narayana. Narayana. Verse 12. Dravya karma chikalas cha svabhavo jiva eva cha tadanugrahat shanti na shanti yad upeksaya. Translation. One should definitely know that all material ingredients, activities, time and modes, and the living entities who are meant to enjoy them all exist by his mercy only. And as soon as he does not care for them, everything becomes non-existent. Purport, the living entities are the enjoyers of the material ingredients, time, modes, etc., because they want to lord it over the material nature. The Lord is the supreme enjoyer, and the living entities are meant to assist the Lord in his enjoyment and thus participate in his transcendental enjoyment for everyone. The enjoyer and the enjoyed both participate in enjoyment, but deluded by the illusionary energy, go give me some water. The living entities want to become the enjoyer like the Lord, although they are not meant for such enjoyment. The living entities, jivas, are mentioned in the Gita as the Lord's supreme nature, superior, or para-prakriti, and are also, it is mentioned in the Vishnu Puran. Therefore, the living entities are never the Purushas or factual enjoyers. As such, the spirit of enjoyment by the living entity in the material world is false. In the spiritual world, the living entities are pure in nature, and therefore they are associates in the enjoyment of the Supreme Lord. In the material world, the spirit of enjoyment of the living entities by dint of their own actions, karma gradually fades by the laws of nature, and thus the illusionary energy dictates in the ears of the conditioned souls that they should become one with the Lord. This is the last snare of the illusionary energy. When the last illusion is also cleared off by the mercy of the Lord, the living entity again becomes reinstated in his original position and thus becomes actually liberated. For the attainment of liberation from the material clutches, the Lord creates the material world, maintains it for some time, 1,000 years of his measurement, as stated in the previous verse, and then a guy annihilates it by his will. The living entities are therefore completely dependent on the mercy of the Lord, and all of their so-called enjoyment by scientific improvement are crushed into dust when the Lord desires. Om Gyantimirandasya Gyanajana Salakaya Chaksun Militamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Sri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinamine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pacharine Nirvisesa Sinyavadi Pastyatya De Satarine Vanshakova Tarubhishcha Kripa Sindhu Pe Vachapatitanam Pavane Bhyo Vaishnave Bhyo Namaho Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Gaur Bhaktivedanta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama. So the little children are playing on the beach, making their little sandcastles and running around, chirping and having fun, and trying to build some sandcastle, which is not easy because sometimes the sand is dry and the castle collapses. One day they're running around playing, and the father or the mother comes along and said, "All right, let's go." So they gather up the kids and they leave everything. So that's the living entities is in this sandcastle type of illusion, trying to build something here for their enjoyment. And at one point, Krishna said, "All right, time's up. It's all over. Take another body." So he just changes everything around, crushes all of their ideas for enjoyment, and knowing it's just childish play. So here we are in the material world, like children, playing with them, these big toys, such as cars, trains, planes. They even make models out of these things for kids to play. But the kids are playing with trains and planes and cars and trucks and tractors. And we're doing the same thing. And we're thinking we're important, and the other one is just kids' business. But from the perspective of reality and spirituality, it's the same. We're just like kids running around trying to find some happiness by building something and trying to enjoy it. And sometimes we build something and then it crashes. Everybody laments. And so this material world, as Prabhupada says here, the spirit of enjoyment by the living entity in the material world is false. But the spiritual enjoyment, the spirit of enjoyment is natural to the living entity, but when it's applied in the material world, it's false because there's no enjoyment in the material world. It's like trying to get some sugarcane juice out of a sugarcane that has already been put through the machine. You may get a drop or two, but that's about all. So in the same way, we're running around trying to find happiness in this material world through family, society, love, and various types of plans to make our life seem to be meaningful and important. But it's just kids play. That's all it is. Just like the kids play on the beach. And the father, after some time, say, "All right, it's all over. Let's go." So in the same way, the living entity thinks that they can enjoy in this material world, just like the kids think they can enjoy on the beach making a castle out of sand. So this material world is like a sandcastle. It's no better than the sandcastle because everything in this material world will be crushed to dust in due course of time. Everything created will be finished. All the mountains, all the trees, all of the creations by man will be pulverized into dust. At one point, the material energy's time runs out, and then it's all over. And there's a devastation for 100. The sun will come closer to the earth and burn up the earth, and everything will be ablaze, and that blaze will go on for hundreds of years. And then after that, there'll be rainfall for hundreds and hundreds of years steady, and everything will be finished. So this material world is temporary, and the enjoyment that one gets in this material world never satisfies the living entity. If the satisfaction could be achieved by the plans of the conditioned souls in the material world, everyone would be happy. But you see, the misery scale is increasing. There's more illness, mental illness, sickness. The statistics show that people who have, especially who are wealthy, are the most mentally disturbed. They have achieved what they think is the goal, but the happiness is not there. Because happiness is presented by the material energy in different ways to allure the conditioned soul into trying to enjoy in that way. But it's the illusion. Yeah, illusion means something that appears to be real, but it's not. Just like a person who is in the desert and has been traveling and he's thirsty, can't find any water. But his thirst is so strong that he's just thinking about water all the time. And finally, he appears that he sees some water, but it's not really water, it's the sun, which reflects off the sand and creates this image of a pond or a cool body of water. And he gets excited and he runs towards it, but all he does is get more hot burning sand. So this is the material world. The illusion is there, and the illusion seems to be the reality. But the illusion cannot provide what the illusion is an image to provide. It cannot provide the happiness. Happiness is on the spiritual platform, not on the material platform. Happiness is the soul's natural constitutional position. For the soul to be happy is normal. But the soul is outside of its environment where happiness exists. So when the soul connects with its previous environment or its natural environment, it awakens within it its own happiness. Because happiness is not something external. It can be stimulated by something external, but happiness is internal because it's the nature of the soul. So when you're happy, then you feel, that life is wonderful. But that happiness can only be achieved when we stop trying to be happy in a false place where there is no happiness. And that is the material world. And so the material world is created to give the conditioned souls the idea that they can enjoy separately from God. But the Lord doesn't put any ingredients of happiness in the material world. And therefore, it's just like the kids playing on the sand. The castle just simply collapses. So if we really want real happiness, we have to go to the spiritual realm to find that happiness, because that is their nature. We have a body, we have a mind, we have, parts of the body, everything is there. But these things are just part of the material energy. We, the soul, is the pure spiritual entity within the body, who is different than the body, and who is directing the body in different ways. We don't see with the eyes, we see through the eyes. The eyes don't see, they're just balls. Some balls stuck into our head. Well, the eyes are like the mechanism for vision, but if there's nobody to see, the eyes are useless. Just like, you can see the eyes on a dead body, but those eyes are not seeing anything. So we, the soul, sees with the eyes or through the eyes. We hear through the ears. We experience touch through the sensation of touch when we connect with the object of feeling. But it's us that's experiencing it and not the body. The body is simply the means by which we use these desires to connect with the external environment. That's all. You might say, well, the body has sensations and has nerves and has endings like that. Yes, but if the nerves are not working, then there's no sensation. Just like if they give you an anesthesia, they can cut you open, you won't feel anything under the influence of the anesthesia. So the anesthesia is some kind of medicine that they apply to numb pain or to eradicate any kind of sensation. So in the same way, our happiness or the experience of happiness comes through consciousness and not through just the activities of the senses connecting with the objects of the senses. It's the consciousness that is experiencing it. And consciousness, as it's mentioned throughout the scriptures, is the symptom of the soul. When there's consciousness, there's life. When there's no consciousness, there's no life. Or you might say, if consciousness is subdued, there appears to be no life. Just like when we sleep, we see it appears to be no consciousness. But consciousness is still there, but it's more internalized, and it's on the subtle platform. And at one time when we're in deep sleep, we can't remember anything. Or in dreaming sleep, we can remember something based on what we experience in the dream state. And in the waking state, we seem to be more aware of things. But in anything, it's all consciousness, and consciousness is the characteristic of life. Where there's consciousness, there's life. When there's no consciousness, there's no life. So when we apply our consciousness to the spiritual energy, we awaken the characteristics of the living entity, us. Therefore, we experience happiness, we learn, we get knowledge, we have so many things happen by the sentient awareness of the soul's presence within the body, using the mind and senses in order to bring in these sensations and also to expand itself outward also. But without the soul, there's nothing. There's no activity, there's no sensation, there's nothing. You can take a dead body and you can beat it forever, and that body won't feel anything because there's no life there. So therefore, this verse is mentioned that if we really want enjoyment, we have to come to the spiritual platform. And that is Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness provides consciousness of Krishna, who is the supreme enjoyer and a source of enjoyment also. Because he is the source of everything, Bhaktaran Yagya Tapasam Sarvaloka Mahesharam. He's the source of everything. He's also the source of enjoyment too, because he himself is a supreme enjoyer, and he's always enjoying, but he cannot enjoy something that is different than him, such as matter. So when Krishna comes to the material world, he doesn't try to enjoy matter, but he enjoys the activities of the living entities who are also of the same nature of him, which is spiritual. So we are the same way. If we want enjoyment, we have to connect with Krishna or a manifestation of the absolute truth in whatever form it manifests. And then we can experience happiness. Just like when we chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, we perform kirtan, we feel happy. The consciousness starts to accelerate, and there's happiness there. Why? Because Krishna's name is Krishna. There's no difference between Krishna and his name. And we're connecting with the holy name by singing the glories of Krishna through his holy name, which is non-different than him. And we experience that happiness. Automatically, it comes quickly. We experience happiness, also interactions with other living entities when we're engaged in devotional service. In the material world, we may experience some satisfaction of some activity with another living entity, but that satisfaction will leave us within a few seconds, a few moments, can't stay. But anything done on the spiritual platform is permanent. It's never lost. Just like you may read so many books. You say you're a devotee for 30, 40 years, and you've read so many books and you've read so many articles, and so you came in contact with so many philosophical and spiritual principles. All of that is there within you. And it may come out in certain circumstances when the mind is in the right position. We can remember certain things that happened 30, 40 years ago because they never leave us. Even in the material sense, this is also true, but the experience that we have cannot fully be recalled later. But on the spiritual level, it can be fully recalled at any time because spirit is not limited to time and space. It's transcendental or above time and space. So this is go down the page and see what other statements there were in the purport that we can use and we can discuss. It says here, in the material, the spirit of enjoyment, living entity, by dint of its own actions, gradually fades by the laws of nature. And thus the illusionary energy dictates into the ears of the conditioned soul that they should become one with the Lord. So this is an interesting point. When people become frustrated in their enjoyment, they want to become one with the Lord. They continue with the enjoyment propensity. Now they change their objective to become one with the Lord, or to merge into the body of the Lord, or to think that they actually become the Lord himself. And as it says here, this is the last snare. Snare means something that's entrapped. It's an entrapment of illusionary energy. So when the living entity becomes frustrated in their enjoyment, they also want to merge into the body of a living entity, or in the Western countries who are not so much inclined to spiritual success in any aspect, when they get to the point of frustration, they take to intoxication and various types of self-destructive activities like that. And then they say, well, just eat, drink, and be merry and enjoy. And then they gradually decrease the duration of life, and soon all of their sandcastle plans are all destroyed. So this again is a very clear explanation of the material energy and the living entities' false attempts to find happiness here. Okay, so can open it up for questions.
Thank you, Maharaj, for this so important point, being dependent on Lord. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, if you have any questions, comments, realization, request you to raise your hand. If you can't, then please, you can type on chat window and I will try to read on your behalf. Yeah, and also my humble request, if you can please switch on your video, that will be so nice to have your darshan. It's the best way to connect with Maharaj.
Yeah.
33 devotees are here, maybe at least
Got
30
three questions.
people.
Okay, we got Radha Bhakti Priya.
Yes, Radha Bhakti Priya Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to you. Guru Maharaj, I often heard that there is no difference between Krishna and his name, but I can, we can experience our family members through our sense object, like we can see them, touch them, talk with them. So, how can one experience that there is no difference between Krishna and his name? So that happiness, how can we experience that?
When you chant, something happens. If there's nothing happening, then you should work on your chanting, but something is happening. I mean, the experiences that devotees have is they become peaceful. Their minds become fixed. They experience a sense of happiness. They also experience fearlessness when they chant. They become free from fear. So these are symptoms that come by way of chanting, which are all indicated that Krishna's name actually is transformable. Yeah. Krishna's name is Krishna, but it's an experience. We accept it philosophically because it's given to us by Guru and Shastra. But ultimately, it is an experience. If you're chanting and you're not getting any experience, then what are you doing? That means you're not really chanting. Everyone's getting an experience. Even those who chant with offense, they get some experience. When you chant without offense, then the experience is more powerful, more transcendental. If you say, well, how can you experience it? Just like I say, well, you're sitting in front of a big plate of prasadam, and you're trying to think what it tastes like. You can't get any taste just by looking at it. You got to taste it. So the experience of chanting is in the experience of chanting. You mean you haven't had any experience yet?
No, Guru Maharaj, I had some experience, but I just want to know something more deep you can feel or something in real life, realizations in that kind of.
Yeah. Well, we say when you first chant and you start developing a sense of peace, become more peaceful. And then after peacefulness, happiness starts to come. You feel happy. From happiness, joyfulness comes, which is one step up from normal happiness. From joyfulness, when you continue, then ecstasy comes. And you start experiencing transcendental symptoms of ecstasy. And then that's mentioned, there's so many symptoms of the ecstasy. Standing on hairs on the body, rolling on the ground, changing colors of the body, dancing around the room while you're chanting. Then from ecstasy comes bliss, which is concentrated ecstasy. then you go mad. Like last night we had a kirtan. It was just, I think we reached the bliss stage last night. It was so powerful. And after that, then the next stage after bliss is complete madness. You don't know who you are and you don't care.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Yeah, so keep chanting and let me know when you get to them, at least to the bliss stage or the ecstatic stage.
Sure.
If we're not feeling happiness by chanting, then what are we doing?
Not really like that, happiness. I just want to know that is there any something other way? So in that kind case of I'm asking about that. Sometime I
Well, you want to know what? I couldn't understand what you had said.
I think it's state of mind.
yeah, in that
State of mind?
yes,
Yeah. State of mind means now it's just you and Krishna in the form of the holy name. And you're in the holy name, you're chanting.
I think
And chanting means practicing how to chant nicely, developing attention, developing bhakti, developing the mood of offering, offer prayers while you're chanting, before you're chanting. You have to be serious with chanting. If you just think I got to get my rounds done, well, what's the use? You'll get your rounds done, but that's all. Nothing more than that. Krishna is a person. If you're simply trying to use him just to get rid of him, I have to do 16 rounds. I can't wait till I'm finished so I can do any damn thing I want. Life begins after the 16th round, right? But the acharyas, the great souls, they say we should chant 24 hours a day. Practice.
yes,
Read
Guru
books.
Maharaj. Thank you.
Read books about chanting.
Okay, Guru Maharaj.
Okay.
Thanks, Mataji. Braj Hari Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to you. My question is with regards to happiness. I mean, chanting should get you to a spiritual platform and you should be happy. But the difficulty there is, at least in my case, the mind. It's very difficult to control mind. It's going in 10 different directions. And even though I'm trying my best, but sometimes it just is very hard to control the mind.
Prabhupada would say, when one devotee asked him that, when I chant Prabhupada, I can't control my mind. Prabhupada said, what is this mind? He said, just hear, that's all. Forget the mind. Just hear. Focus on the sound. Concentrate on the sound. Forget about the mind. Let it do whatever it wants, but just don't pay attention to it. You pay attention to it, and then you create another audience. That's all. Just bring it back to the sound. Krishna says, whenever and wherever the mind wanders, due to its unsteady and flickering nature, bring it under the control of the self. So the mind will do whatever it wants. Just don't pay attention to it. Meditation means absorption in the sound. But if you don't focus on the sound, if you try to control the mind, you might miss the opportunity to hear nicely. Just practice hearing. Like sometimes devotees want to finish their rounds within a certain period, so they try to chant fast. But they don't really go deep enough into the sound to really connect with the sound, and they skim and they don't really hear nicely. They hear something, but not really. But if you carefully chant and then gradually build your speed based on the connection that you develop in the beginning, it becomes so it's easy. Don't try to go real fast at the beginning. Prabhupada also taught that in the japa tape. Starting off slow and careful, very methodical, listening to the sound. So when the mind comes in, just bring it back to the sound. It's easier when you go slow. And then as the sound becomes more prominent, it becomes more easy to connect with it. And then speed will automatically manifest. And if you do it that way, you'll finish your rounds faster that way than when you want to simply finish them by going fast. Hear nicely. Hearing brings speed. You can't, it's imperceptible, but how hearing actually brings speed to the chanting. So that's why Prabhupada said, just chant and hear. Don't listen to your mind. Tell it to, if he's giving you so much trouble, just tell him to go away. Don't tell him to come back after 16 rounds. And there's many techniques the devotees use in order to help bring about a focus to the chanting, such as very carefully listening to the first Hari in the mantra, which helps to connect with the rest of the mantra. Or another technique is just, you tell the mind, my dear mind, just listen to one mantra, that's all. And then you listen to one mantra. And then you say the same thing again. Okay, just listen to one mantra. Mind says, oh, that's all I have to do? All right. But if you tell the mind 16 rounds, he'll say, hey, I'm out of here.
No, that's very helpful, Guru Maharaj. One more follow-up question I have is, how do you explain to people who are not in the spiritual, who are not in spirituality, they say happiness is a function of chemicals. It's serotonin, dopamine. What?
Yeah, you show love for another person. That means your chemicals and their chemicals have come together, and now we have a chemical equation, right? My
I
chemicals,
love the
your
chemistry.
so everything happens in the laboratory. It's the most ridiculous statement I ever heard. Are you made out of, are you chemicals? Can chemicals love? Can chemicals get angry? Can chemicals, remember? We're not chemicals. Chemicals are part of the ingredients of the body, but it's not not the living being. Tell them, yeah, right. Tell them to get married to some chemicals and see how much happiness they get. Buy it, go to the store and buy a bottle of chemicals and have a loving relationship.
It's called wine.
It's ridiculous. It's not ridiculous, it's absurd. We're living beings. We have feelings, we have emotions, we have thoughts. We're not just chemicals. Happiness is chemicals. I guess if they say happiness is chemicals, sadness is another kind of chemical, right? Distress is another kind of chemical. So the whole world is just chemicals. But the scriptures say the whole world is just energy, not chemicals, energy. Everything is energy. So when they say that, just tell them, give me some of your chemicals. And that way you'll be happy. Maybe if you have less chemicals, you'll be happy. It's so absurd. I just can't help, laughing at it. It's just ridiculous. But people come up with all kinds of ideas. It says that a goat will eat anything and a madman will speak anything. So people are mad because they don't have any knowledge. They're mad because they're chasing after something that they can't really find, can't enjoy. So they're mad. People are mad. They're all madmen out there. They act like they're not mad, but they're mad. You walk into an insane asylum, you'll see a person there, he's walking around like Jesus Christ, and he's saying, I'm Jesus Christ. Or somebody saying, I'm Napoleon. So that's a sense of madness. But people are saying, I am this body and I'm chemicals. That's madness. So you work with very intelligent people, just tell them, forget this chemical theory. It's not a theory, it's just an absurd idea. So,
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu. Amritana Mataji, Shridevi Mataji, please go ahead.
Amrita, you're on. But you have to unmute first.
Hare Krishna, dear Guru Maharaj, please accept our humble obeisances. All glories to Prabhupada. So Amrita Nam has this question, but she's so tired she wants me to speak. No. Then you speak. Come on.
Okay. Guru Maharaj, you mentioned that the last snare of Maya, about the last snare of Maya. So, can we say that all the Mayavadis were trapped in the last snare of Maya?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good conclusion.
Oh.
Yeah. Their failure to enjoy the material world has brought them to that stage of wanting to merge into the absolute truth.
So then from there again the cycle goes, into round and round. So that's the trap.
Which cycle is that?
The birth and death cycle, they again fell into the birth and death cycle. They could
Yeah.
have got out of it, but they fall trap into that.
Well, if they achieve the state of Brahman realization, then they can temporarily free themselves from the suffering of the material world. But then again, it's temporary. And then you have to leave that situation and come down. Aruna Krishna Padam Padam Padantiyada. Padantiyada means fall down again. Those who climb high on the spiritual platform, who think themselves liberated, actually, again, because they have no regard to the lotus feet of the Lord, they fall down again into the material energy, again into the cycle of birth and death.
Yeah. Any follow-ups? Thank you very much
Okay.
for the clarification.
Pavani, please go ahead.
Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All Guru Shri Srila Prabhupada in your divine lotus feet. Maharaj, sometimes we hear like that in Golok Dham, their mood is that they love Krishna like a cowherd bird. It's like they're Krishna. But over here, we worship Krishna like in awe and reverence. So, what do we do? Like, do we follow in the footsteps of the Brajavasis and like show our love to Krishna, or do we like see him in our reverence?
Right now, we can still show our love to Krishna, but our designation is not fixed yet until we reach a certain level of bhakti. And that's the higher stages of bhakti. When we practice spontaneous devotional service in the mood of a resident of Vrindavan, either as gopis or as cowherd boys. For now, we can still show our love for Krishna, but we don't really have recognition of our actual spiritual identity. So that love is just preliminary love, or feelings of attraction, feelings of awe and reverence towards Krishna, which has symptoms of love in it also. But as you continue to practice bhakti, you reach higher consciousness. As you reach a certain stage of higher consciousness, then you can start practicing worshiping the Lord in the mood of one of the residents in Vrindavan, either a cowherd boy or a gopi. And that's called spontaneous, or what we say raganuga bhakti, what we say natural attraction to Krishna, natural affection for Krishna.
Maharaj,
So right now, you can still show your love for Krishna. Everybody can do that at any stage.
Maharaj, just a follow-up question. I heard in a lecture that like all Gaudiya Vaishnavas are Manjaris in the Golok Dham of Radharani. Can you please like elaborate on that, or how much true is it?
Oh, who are Manjaris?
No, I heard that all the Gaudiya Vaishnavas of ISKCON, they are Manjaris of Radharani in Golok Dham. Is that true?
Our mood in ISKCON is Manjari Bhav. But that doesn't mean everybody in ISKCON is in that Bhav. There are people who are also Vaikuntha Pasis. There are those who are devotees of Ramchandra also. There's devotees of Nrsingadev. But generally, those who aspire for and achieve the mood of Vrindavan are in Manjari Bhav. Manjaris means the assistance of the gopis. The Manjaris don't directly connect with Krishna. They make they bring Radha and Krishna together in different pastimes. They're assistants of Radha and Krishna by bringing them together. So that's our mood, Manjari Bhav, to bring Radha and Krishna together. So that's manifested in our preaching also. Because we preach, we are trying to bring other souls to Krishna. So we're in the mood of the gopis. We're trying to bring other souls to other gopis to Krishna, and not so much ourselves. That's the mood of preaching, which is in the mood of Manjari Bhav or Gopi Bhav. That's a little hard to understand. I see you're reading some interesting stuff. Huh?
Yeah, one of my brahmacharis in ISKCON, in this Farmington Hills, Shyamakishore Prabhu, he has been like telling me to read Prabhupada books more and more. So I've been like reading Bhakti Yoga, The Art of Eternal Love. So
Well, that's nice. Yeah, continue.
yes,
Two very good questions you asked. Really interesting questions. But you can love Krishna at any stage.
yes, Maharaj. Thank you, Maharaj.
So we have, what we say, Manisha and Shakshi had their hands up. Now they're
Yeah,
gone.
they raised their hand, but I can't see them now.
I see them, but they don't have their hand up anymore.
Oh yeah, they are here.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to you. Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj, for such a wonderful class. Thank you so much. Actually, Guru Maharaj, last night I was reading Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela, chapter 7, and there one Brahmin invited Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and there all the other Mayavadi sannyasis also there. And then Prakashananda Saraswati said to Lord Chaitanya that you are always doing chanting and dancing, you are not reading scriptures. What are you doing? You are a sannyasi. So, Guru Maharaj, my question is that what they read as scriptures, the Mayavadis, what they read as scriptures, because in our scriptures it is only chant, dance, take prasad, worship Krishna. So, can you please
They
explain
read,
me, please?
they read Sariraka Bhashya, which is Sankaracharya's commentary on Bhagavad Gita, Sankir. They also read the Vedas, but they give their own Mayavadi interpretation, which is all wrong. So they read scripture, but they'll read Bhagavatam too, but they'll interpret it in a Mayavadi way. You can interpret the scriptures in any way you want if you're, what we say, expert at twisting things around, which the Mayavadis are. They'll take certain statements and give a different understanding or wrong understanding. Like one of the qualities of Krishna is nirguna. That's a name for Krishna, nirguna. Guna means qualities and nir means without. So they say that God has no qualities, therefore he's impersonal. But the Charyas say nirguna means without material qualities. But he has qualities. Just like we have qualities, and we are also coming from Krishna. So how can we have qualities and Krishna, we're coming from Krishna and he has no qualities? That's idiotic. That's an example how they take the scriptures and reinterpret them in different ways. Many statements like that. So they'll read the Upanishads. They'll read, what we say, some of the writings of Sankaracharya.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Guru Maharaj,
Don't
for
read
that.
them. Yeah, don't read them though. Don't read Mayavadi books or books that propose Mayavadi philosophy. You have a terrible background noise in your background noise is
Yes.
just so loud. I can't hear you.
Sorry, Guru Maharaj. Actually, we are in Ujjain at present, and we are in Govinda, so that's why there is so much noise. So sorry, Guru Maharaj. And thank you for the clarification. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji.
We got a question from one new bhakta here. His name is Rashab. He's just come on board today. He looks like he's enthusiastic. Yeah. So he wants to give his first question. How can I enjoy prasadam even more? Tell him to start with Kitri and work your way up. And that way, each time you eat, it's better till you get to pakoras and sweet rice and sabji and chutney and so many. Yeah, but start with Kitri and some bland chapatis. rice with no ghee, salt. And then you'll appreciate prasadam as you continue. And someday you'll get to the feast. Okay, does that answer your question?
I have a follow-up on that.
He has a follow-up question. He wants to know where's the best kitchen.
Amrita Nam makes a really nice one.
So Abhishek has just destroyed all of my arguments by saying that the Khichdi and ISKCON is the best. Okay. What other question do you have?
I had a question. You said that happiness is within, and because if I understood, because we are materially covered, this happiness is not manifested. So when I'm serving the devotees, does this covering start to fade out? That's why I feel such a happiness of serving Vaishnavas.
Yeah, as long as you're focused on the service, if you start thinking about when you're serving Vaishnavas and you're thinking about when can I be served, you won't get any happiness. But if you're absorbed in the service, then automatically you'll feel satisfied and happy. Yeah. When you do service, you should be focused on the service and not simply just doing it. They say body, mind, and words all have to be ingredients in the activity. If you leave one of them out, the activity is a lot less joyful or satisfying. Bring all three in: body, mind, words.
And this covering kind of leaves us in the sense it kind of reveals it little and then it then covers us.
Yeah.
So, okay. Right.
Cheto, Darbana Marjan. Okay, looks like we ran out of questions.
There is one comment from Mohan Asani Radha Mataji. It was related to previous question, but point was that I get inspiration for improving my japa through learning new melodies on harmonium, practically through music, looking for the Lord Jagannath and association of devotees through Bhakta Sangha. We are meeting 3 times weekly and talk about japa and also the topics like Sri Upanishad, Srimad Bhagavatam, and go through other books. That helps me to deepen the relationship to the Lord for now. But everyone has its own inspiration. You just have to find out your way.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, do bhajans. That'll help. That'll deepen your attraction for the holy name. For sure. No doubt.
Maharaj, I have one question related to one point which I mentioned in today's class, where it's mentioned that spirit of enjoyment of living entities by dint of their own actions gradually fades by the law of nature. And thus the illusory energy dictates in the ears of the conditioned souls that they should become one with the Lord. So when we say one with the Lord, it means trying to get engaged in devotional service?
No, merge into the body of the Lord. Emerge into the bodily effulgence of the Lord. 2 forms of oneness. It's monism. It's not spiritual oneness. Spiritual oneness is different. This is material. Spiritual oneness is that your desires and the Lord's desires are the same. Or you might say you make the Lord's desires your desires. That's oneness, spiritual oneness. Material oneness is due to frustration to enjoy, and therefore you want to merge into the body of the Lord to experience, to get out of the frustration of material life. Moksha, from some form of moksha. That's all. That's what it is.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you.
Is that clear?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Okay, so we can stop here, and tomorrow is, yeah, we should be there tomorrow night for the next verse. So we'll
Yeah.
see you tomorrow.
Tomorrow is
Thank
also
you.
beginning of Sharad Purnima, Maharaj, if I'm not wrong.
Hmm?
Tomorrow is also Sharad Purnima.
Shut up, Purnima. It's the day before the beginning
month.
of Kartik starts on the 7th.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Kartik.
So sure.
Actually, on 8th October by this calendar. Maya cool.
I think Kartik starts on the 8th, right?
8th.
I don't know, like here, everywhere it's starting from 7th, Maharaj. So, and
Well,
also in Ishkan Vrindavan.
America always wants to be ahead of her. London wants to be ahead of everybody. So
Why is it on 8th?
say again.
In our place in Republic of Moldova, it's on 8th October.
Yeah,
Starts Kartik month.
I think in India it's also on the 8th.
Also think so.
Let me check my calendar here. I think yeah, this is London is 7th. I think India is 8th. Okay, I'm in India, so okay, we'll see you all tomorrow.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you very much for this wonderful association. Also,
Hey.
thank you, devotees, for joining this session. Shrimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai,
Yeah.
Anant Koti Vaishnav Vrind ki jai.
Yeah.
Or-
Thank you so much, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Mayor.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Everybody tomorrow.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Any luck?
Maharaj.
Did you get any-
Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Did you get any luck with those that assignment I gave you? Where'd he go? Mayor was just here and he's gone.
Oh, Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Any news about?
Yes, so I've got all the recordings for Soho Street, and I've done a third of the Manor ones. I've got about 2 more pages left on their website to download, and then it should all be ready for me to send across to you.
All right, when it's all put together, send it to me.
Okay, perfect. Will do.
Okay.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.